Hello and a warm welcome to HW News Network, your one-stop show, truth be told, for some engaging and thought-provoking conversations. I'm going to hold out a newspaper, and this is today's Times of India, and several other newspapers have also reported. I just look at the banner news. Fire at Delhi High Court judge's house leads to a recovery of cash pile. Now, this particular story of Justice Yashwant Varma has shaken the legal circle and the judicial circle as well. Now, what are the details which have really come in? Now, a fire that broke out in the residential bungalow of Delhi High Court judge resulted in the recovery of a huge pile of cash. And what was the amount? 50 crore rupees recovered from the house of Justice Yashwant Varma. And of course, this has sent shockwaves in judicial corridors and has forced the Supreme Court collegium led by Chief Justice of India Sanjeev Khanna to decide to transfer him to another high court. Now, what has happened is that there was a unanimous decision taken that he should be transferred to his parent high court, and that is the Allahabad High Court. But few judges also said that this really is a blot on the image of the judiciary. Therefore, there should be an in-house inquiry. He should be asked to resign, and if he doesn't listen, then it should be followed up with an impeachment motion, which of course the collegium will refer to the president and in turn the government. Now, the biggest question is that what has this story really done to the people in the legal circle? Is this a norm? Today, questions are being raised about the corrupt practices in the judicial circles. And then there are also questions raised on whether the Supreme Court did the right thing by transferring him to the parent high court, that is the Allahabad High Court. I was speaking to a few people in the Allahabad Bar Association, and they categorically said that Justice Yashwant Varma should not be welcome to Allahabad High Court because Allahabad High Court is not a dumping ground. Therefore, I thought that we should speak to a judge this evening. And joining me now today is former judge of the Patna High Court, Justice Anjana Prakash joins us. Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining on HW. And it's really a pleasure to have you on the program. And let me be very candid and honest with you at the outset that I tried to speak to many judges. Most of them declined from commenting on this issue. I don't want to go into the details, but one of the judges, and I would not like to name them, that particular judge even said that you guys published a one-sided story where you did not seek a clarification from Justice Yashwant Varma, and that was wrong. And this term prostitutes, which has been given to the press people, is actually apt. That person, I'm not going to name him, but he went to the extent of labeling us as a prostitute. I'm saying us because it involves the entire, the journalistic fraternity. But my question is to you, ma'am, how shocked are you at this particular story where 50 crore has been recovered from a Delhi High Court judge's residence? Is it something very, very extraordinary and unprecedented?
Most certainly, it is. It is extraordinary. The situation is extraordinary. I don't think at any point in time earlier, this kind of huge amount of pile of money was recovered from the residence of any judge. I don't think so. So obviously, this is very shocking, extremely shocking. I mean, the one institution upon whom you bank that they will be the final arbiter and the fair arbiter of any dispute, that the whole thing collapses. And when it collapses, obviously, it's very not only shocking, it's also devastating.
But Supreme Court has allowed the transfer of Justice Yashwant Varma to the parent High Court, that is the Allahabad High Court. But many people, in fact, many Rajya Sabha MPs have raised this question that transfer cannot be the punishment. What is your view on this?
Surely. I would also agree that transfer is not an adequate punishment. Because, see, Nilu, going to the history of the institution, at one time, when the transfer of judges, the procedure started, then all that they did was, transferred judges who had, some kind of a tainted, past, or against whom there were certain suspicions, and they would say, for administrative reasons, this person is being transferred there or there. But later on, this did not. It's become like an official, like a bureaucratic transfer. You post a certain judge there so that he can climb up the slot and become a chief justice. Earlier than it's all strategized. Okay, so right now sending him back is, of course, everyone knows, because this has happened, and he's being that is why he's being transferred. So it is some kind of a punishment. But I don't think it is an adequate punishment, nor is it a punishment at all, because he was here as a judge. He goes there also as an Allahabad High Court judge. So both places, he is a judge in any case in term. Now, I would think that the proper punishment, or proper, at least, right now, the steps that should be taken is that all judicial work should be withdrawn from him till such time as an in-depth inquiry is conducted. This should be done.
But, ma'am, the whole thing about this in-house inquiry, then impeachment, now that's a long drawn process. But many people are saying that he should have been asked to resign. Now, can't the collegium ask him to resign right away, or suspend his judicial work, keep him off the judicial work? At least that could be the minimum which Supreme Court collegium could have asked him.
Even though Supreme Court is not, the High Court is not a subordinate court of the Supreme Court, but I guess in extraordinary circumstances, it can be suggested to the Chief Justice of that particular High Court that please withdraw all judicial work from him. Do not give him any work. So suspending, all work from him can be initiated by the Supreme Court. And I am sure, Neelu, maybe we don't know about it, but the judges also at the collegium, they must have suggested that he resign. I'm sure,
what the story in Times of India very clearly says, that few judges were not in favor of transfer. They said the transfer is not enough. And in fact, they suggested that there should be an in-house inquiry, he should be asked to resign. But the very fact that there was a unanimous decision on just the transfer worries me as a journalist, that why it didn't strike the Supreme Court collegium to suspend his work immediately. Because if you're transferring a judge to his parent High Court, which means you are allowing him the permission for the judicial work. He'll continue the judicial work there.
No, not necessary. Not necessary. If he goes to, let's not mix up two things. If he's transferred, it does not mean, that this is the end of the story. The in-depth inquiry, the in-house inquiry can still come. Okay. And I think that is being mulled over also. That's been suggested. So I guess, that will also come. The Supreme Court being, the way it is and the way it is functioning right now, I don't think they will stop at this. So they will, ask for an in-house inquiry. Now, as for transferring him to Allahabad High Court, I'm sure that the Chief Justice of Allahabad High Court can withdraw all work from him, suspend him from, doing any judicial work. So this is not a question of being enough or not enough. This is not adequate. It's not that. It's a first step that they've taken. And that, that obviously they've taken cognizance of it. Suppose if this was done and the collegium did not do anything, people would blame, just look at the collegium. It's, learnt of this and it's not doing anything. So at least one step has been taken to give a, message to the public that they have reacted, or message, or the proper thing they thought that it could be done.
No, but ma'am, the whole thing about the propriety of this entire issue and how it has happened, nobody was expecting. If you had been part of the collegium, what would you have really suggested?
See, I would have suggested, that suspend work from him, but whether I was within my rights to do it or not, I'm not sure. As I said, the High Court is not a subordinate court, and therefore the collegium cannot possibly say, that all work is suspended from you. But I guess, in extraordinary circumstances, it can be done.
But wasn't this an extraordinary circumstance that the cash pile
Yes.
was recovered and
Uh,
Supreme Court immediately thought of calling the collegium on this particular issue? Itself indicates that this was an extraordinary situation. So,
Yes, yes. That'll also come. That'll also come. I'm sure that'll come. This is like a natural progression of a thing which emanates, from this kind of a situation.
right. But, ma'am, now what is this particular episode where the cash pile has been recovered? Now, obviously, this everybody is saying that this is unaccounted cash, but few of the people feel that he has not been heard. Do you think that the media or the judges have not been fair to Justice Yashwant Varma because his version is not given anywhere? In none of the stories I've seen, his version is there. But one of the judges I was speaking to on the phone said that this is unfair and we should not condemn the judge before he's heard. What is your opinion on that?
No, no. I think, the press has done the right thing by reporting it. It's not prostitute, sorry, because for the simple reason that what is the press for? If it is not to reveal facts, you're not implying anything. You're just stating a fact that that there was a fire in his house, the ambulance was, whatever, the fire brigade was called, and in that, while dousing the fire, they found a pile of money. So all these are, facts, and these factual aspects have been reported by the press. So what's the wrong in it? And after that, for us to inference, because if you see the provisions of Section 13 of the Prevention of Corruption Act, unaccounted cash being found, which is beyond the known means of income, obviously it implies something. The presumption is this, that it would be illicit.
But what do you think this episode has really indicated as a message which has really gone out? And what could be the deterrent? Any deterrent
It's
you would suggest that so that the other judges don't attempt a thing like this?
Surely. See, the first thing is that people lose their faith in the judiciary, and I can say that the way people talk, it's not like this as though he is the sole person, he is the only person who's corrupt. There must be a lot of people, and as it's commonly said, all those who are caught, are dubbed dishonest. Those who are not caught are not dishonest. Chor pakda gaya, so if the thief is being caught, he's a thief. But if he's not been caught, then he's not a thief. But fact of the matter is, there must be many others also like them. But it's not only, for setting an example that this person should be strictly dealt with. It is, that this is the way corruption should be dealt with. Not because of, for any other reason, but this is how it should be dealt with. Not for setting an example or for the others that it will be a detriment to the others to follow. And nobody follows anybody else.
Right.
Stay ahead with our cutting edge news app. Instantly access the latest shorts in just 1 minute and breaking news in just 50 words. Download now for a smarter, faster news experience.